Cover assembly. This section will provide you with step-by-step instructions on how to assemble your Covana cover. Warning: this video is intended as a training support only. It does not substitute the installation instructions manual that came with the cover. In any case of discrepancy, the installation manual always prevails. Before you start the assembly of the cover, you will need the following tools: scissors or a retractable utility knife, a Robertson and Phillips screwdrivers, a rubber mallet, a hammer, an adjustable wrench, and a power drill. Warning: keep in mind that you should not over-tighten any screws. Be careful when using power tools as the screws will break under too much torque. Before assembling, use masking tape to attach the foam spacers to the top of the swim spa near each corner. There must be at least 4 foam spacers on each longitudinal side. Do not stack the foam spacers. These spacers will simulate the thickness of the seal, and protect the swim spa during the installation. Assembly of the I to C long connection plates on the I-beams. Use the number 10 by 5/8 of an inch screws, the washers, the nuts and the spacers. The I-beam must have enough space to move in the slots of the I to C connection plate. Pay attention, as the trimmed portion of the I to C connection plate must be oriented in the same direction as the bent part. Make sure the inserts are facing inwards. Tighten the screws in place and make sure the spacers are installed correctly. 2 I to C long connection plates must be installed on each I-beam, with 1 on each side. Assemble both I to C connection plates for a second assembly. Assemble the remaining I-beams with the short I to C connection plates. Use 1 I-beam for the 12 to 15 feet models, and 3 I-beams for the 16 to 20 feet models. Use the number 10 by 5/8 of an inch screws, the nuts and the spacer. Tighten the screws in place and make sure the spacer is installed correctly. 2 short I to C connection plates must be installed on each I-beam, with 1 on each side. Installation of the cable on the I to C long connection plate. Install the cable by placing the flat side of the eyelet in contact with the I to C long connection plate. Use the 5/16 of an inch by 5/8 of an inch screw, the washer, and the lock nut. Make sure the eyelet of the cable is parallel to the longitudinal side of the plate. We recommend you use a table or the shipping crate as a base to build the middle section of the cover, and transfer the cover to the swim spa later, once it is assembled. However, if space is limited, follow the next steps while assembling directly onto the swim spa. In this case, avoid scratching the swim spa or any components of the cover. Place the escape hatch panel in the middle of the installation surface. Be careful not to scratch the cover. If you have a colored cover, make sure the colored sides are on top. Make sure the top label located in the panel hole is properly oriented. Assembly of the 94 and 9/16 of an inch C channels. Warning: be careful not to delaminate the fiberglass while installing the C channels on the panels. Align the center label with the edge of the panel. Slide 1 I-beam with short I to C connection plates in the C channels. Make sure the arrow on the I-beam label is pointing upwards. Place the I-beam so that the bent portion of the I to C bracket is pointing forward, away from the panel. Ensure the proper insertion of the I to C bracket in the C channel. Make sure the I-beam's bottom and top sections are unobstructed. The C channel webs must fit between the I to C bracket and the I to C connection plate. While sliding the I-beam in place, make sure the highlighted surface forms a right angle with the C channel. Be careful not to delaminate the fiberglass with the I-beam. Ensure it fits tightly with the foam panel. Slide the large panel into the C channels, making sure the side with the cutout is pointing outward. Make sure that the panel is pushed as far as possible by hand, and is completely inserted in the I-beam. If you have a colored panel, place the colored side on top. Ensure the I-beam has slid over the panel on both the bottom and top sides. Install the I-beams with the long I-to-C connection plates. Ensure the trimmed portion of the I-to-C connection plates faces toward the end of the cover. Slide the I-beam in the C channel until the I-beam fits tightly on the panels. By hand, align one of the C channels in such a way that the I-to-C connection plate holes are visible. Do the same for both sides. Align the holes of the support bracket, the post mount bracket and the C channel. Attach the support bracket to the C channel and the post mount bracket with the 1/4 inch by 1 inch screws. Do not install the screws on the other end of the brackets. Make sure the I-beams still have enough space to move in the I-to-C slots. For some spas, optional dual-sided brackets are needed to mount the cover to the posts. These brackets are installed in the same way as the post mount brackets. Depending on what is required, the dual-sided bracket can be pointing up or down. Proceed in the same way to assemble the support bracket and the post mount bracket on the opposite side of the cover. Attach the 2 remaining support brackets and post mount brackets to the C channel with the 1/4 inch screws. Remove the center labels on the C channels. Carefully position the assembled cover onto the swim spa. Try to align the cover as best as possible. Warning: make sure to gently position the cover on the previously installed foam spacers. The panels and I-beams can damage the acrylic of the swim spa. Ensure the foam spacers are correctly installed under the I-beams to simulate seal height. Insert the shortest C channel inside the support bracket. There are only 2 slots at the end of these parts. The slots must go inwards towards the cover. Make sure the long I-to-C connection plate is well inserted into the short C channel. The I-to-C connection plate must be behind the C channel webs. Align the I-to-C connection plate holes with the C channel slots. Use the 1/4 inch by 1 inch screws to fix the support bracket. Warning: do not fully tighten these screws. Make sure the C channel still has enough space to move in its slots. Install the other short C channels for the other 3 corners using the same procedure. The next steps apply only on the 16 to 20 feet models. Slide in one of the remaining rectangular panels into the C channels, making sure the side with the cutout is pointing outward. If you have a double section swim spa, position the second escape hatch over the second section. When assembling the foam panel into the C channel, be careful not to delaminate the fiberglass. It is very important to check if the I-beams have locked in properly into the foam panels. Be careful not to scratch the panel in swim spa. Slide the I-beam with the short I-to-C connection plates in the C channels, while making sure the wire passes through the hole of the I-to-C connection plate. For all cover dimensions, insert one of the end panels in the C channels. Make sure the large angle cuts are pointing toward the end of the cover. Proceed in the same way on the opposite side to install the panels and the I-beam. Install a hexagonal guide bushing into each corner bracket support with one number 8 by 1/2 inch screw. Warning: do not over-tighten the screws as they might break. Install the left and right corner bracket supports on each end C channel with 3 number 8 by 1/2 inch screws. Make sure the bushing will be facing the short C channel. Slide these assemblies on the edge panels located on each side of the cover, making sure the wire passes through the hexagonal guide bushings. Secure the corner bracket on the short C channel with 3 number 8 by 1/2 inch screws. Proceed in the same way for each corner. Grip lock installation. Assemble the grip lock as shown. Depending on your preference, the grip lock can be assembled with the wing nut or with the hexagonal nut. It is important to apply grease to the hollow threaded stud, and to keep a gap between the grip lock nut and the grip lock. Insert a grip lock assembly into a hexagonal guide bushing. Pull on the wire while pushing on the grip lock as much as possible. Proceed in the same way for each corner. Using a wrench, tighten the nut on the hollow stud. Tighten the 4 nuts simultaneously by performing the same number of turns for each nut. Repeat the process until the short and long C-channels touch each other. Do not go any further. If the C-channels still don't touch each other, and it is not possible to tighten the nuts any further, pull on the cable while pushing on the hollow stud to continue tightening the panel. Warning: be careful not to turn the hollow stud, otherwise the wire could be lost. When tightening the cover, make sure it stays as straight as possible and is safely resting on the foam bumpers. Once the short and long C-channels touch each other, tighten both 1/4 inch by 1 inch screws to reach a torque value of 5 pound-feet. Tighten the screws of the other 3 post assemblies. Use the provided 5/32 drill bit to make holes on the top and bottom of each support bracket. Use the pre-drilled holes in the support bracket as guidance. All the pre-drilled holes must be drilled. Standard support brackets have 4 pre-drilled holes. If the support bracket is 42 inches long, you must drill 8 holes per support. Drill a hole between both screws on the inner side of each post mount bracket. Use the pre-drilled hole in the bracket as guidance. Do not drill the foam panel, only drill through the metal. Be careful while cleaning the holes, metal chips can scratch the painted parts. Warning: do not remove or loosen the grip lock assemblies. Screw in the painted number 10 by 1/2 inch screws in the holes at the top and bottom of each support bracket. Screw in a 3/8 inch thread cutting screw in the hole on the inner side of each post mount bracket. Remove the nut, washer, and hollow threaded stud from each grip lock assembly. Remove the hexagonal guide bushing and screws from each corner. Keep all these parts in a safe place for future use. In each corner, push the wire and the remainder of the grip lock assembly inside the C-channel. Attach the outside corner to the corner bracket support with the number 8 by 1/2 inch screws. Proceed in the same way for each corner. Test the functionality of the escape hatch release mechanism prior to installation. Make sure that the arms of the hatch are retracted when open, and non-retracted when closed. Before installing, turn the escape hatch handle to retract the arms. Install the escape hatch into the escape hatch opening of the center panel. Warning: failure to install the escape hatch properly may impede the performance of the Covana cover, may create problems such as vapor leakage, water infiltration and unwanted access to the swim spa, and will automatically render the product certification void. All incidents or security risks caused by an uninstalled or improperly installed escape hatch, such as drowning, injury or undesired entry, fall under the sole responsibility of the user.